This is
Live.
something nervous.
All right, Pembroke elections 2018. This is Rubber Chicken Circuit, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host Candace, and we're joined by local city councillor candidate Adam Gunter. And we're very proud to have you here, Adam. Thank you for caring this much about our city. And before we start, we just wanted to mention that this is we're hosted here in the Church Street Media House studios, right above the downtown core of Pembroke. We're right near the Giggling Goats Candy Shop and the Grind Pembroke. And this show, Rubber Chicken Circuit, is exclusive content to the Pembroke Elections 2018 group, actually run and administered by Candace Lacroix Johnston here and her team of dedicated volunteers. So we're happy and proud to have them working with us here at Church Street Media House, and just even more happy and proud to have you in the studio with us. So Candace, why don't you take over with the first question for our candidate here?
Yeah, sure. All right. So, so we're conducting this interview because we are kind of putting you up on a pedestal, and we want you to describe exactly the kind of person that you are. You know, who's going to be representing us, and so we'll just start baby steps. We'll, tell us about yourself, your background, if you have kids.
Okay, well, I'm 30 years young. I moved to Pembroke 8 years ago. Funny story, I actually came up for a holiday. I came up for a week, and I never went home.
Really, eh?
Yeah, I grew up in Burlington, and I loved it here so much that I literally called my roommate at the time and said, "You can do whatever you want with my stuff. I am not coming home."
Really?
And I decided to make this city my home.
So what was it? What was it about Pembroke? But
It's just a small town feeling in a city. In Burlington, it's a big city. You don't get much environment or nature and all that stuff. Certainly don't have a river right at your doorstep.
yes.
So for me, this is where we would go, like the type of area as cottage country or to get away. And here I am, I'm living in it. It's, I couldn't turn it. For some reason, I just felt like this is where I needed to be. And I went with my gut, and I never went home.
Really, eh?
And here I am, I'm home now.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, so after that, I met my wife, Kayla, and we had our first daughter. She's going to be 3 on Monday, and then we had our second daughter in December.
Really?
So I'm stuck here now. She's made it quite clear that she's never leaving Pembroke, so here we are.
Well, nothing wrong with that.
No.
So you obviously really want to step up and be a big part of this town and the decisions that are made in it.
For sure.
What were some of the things that really charged you about this town? Like what big improvements need to be made, do you feel?
Well, I mean, we could start with the roads, but I think everybody's touching on that subject.
Yeah,
I don't think we need to touch on that one anymore. Everyone knows the roads here need work, and you know what? I gotta hand it to the current council. They've started. Nelson Street's getting done. I know McKay Street's getting done. Boundary Road got done. I mean.
Yeah, I know. Finally, eh?
It's nice to drive down that road now.
Yeah.
The downtown core has come a long way. There's still, a couple of vacant buildings that need a facelift, or, even if we just prettied it up so it wasn't all boarded up and looked like a ghost town, that'd be awesome.
Hey, what is your take on the one-way through town? It's an interesting one. It's a topic that's kind of surfaced, and it seems kind of 50-50 to me. Like some people, 50% are opposed and 50% are going, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's. I noticed it's a touchy subject too. Someone says one way, and then you've got 15 people saying no, it won't work, or angle parking and it won't work. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the city of Hamilton at all.
No, I'm not actually.
Okay, so they used to have, there's an area in Hamilton called Hess Village, and it's, I guess you could say it's kind of a bar village now.
Sure.
And you used to be able to drive traffic, there used to be two-way traffic up and down the street. Well, they've actually closed it off to pedestrian traffic only, and it's actually made business a lot better for those business owners there.
Yes.
It's not all just
Really?
bars and
No.
there's restaurants, there's shops and all that stuff, but Now you get foot traffic without the worry of cars coming and getting in the way.
And they
or
get
parking. Yeah.
more business.
I can see that.
Yeah, because see, that's pretty
yeah.
controversial, like, because some
like
people
it.
say, it would do the opposite, you know? But obviously, and I guess it depends on the location too, and the
For sure.
population of people.
Yeah.
But see, around here, there's a lot of seniors too.
Yeah.
And a lot of them would rather go to Walmart because they can park close and
Well,
and it's all in one spot, and you know what I mean? And they have to park like 2 blocks away just to walk, you know, downtown Pembroke.
if you can find a parking spot,
If you can find, yeah.
you know, you can park your car at Walmart for 6 hours.
Yeah, and not have to worry about it being ticketed.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know.
The parking's definitely a big issue, that's for sure.
I'm indifferent on the one way or the 2-way on Pembroke Street. I mean,
Neither here nor there about it.
yeah, it's to me it's not a concern, but I understand that it is a concern to some residents.
Yeah.
And
It's just
people
a
out there.
congestion.
Yeah.
Because you got pedestrians walking, you've got pedestrians crossing, you've got people parking like on both sides. And like when you drive straight through, it's like you're driving through like this.
No, you're constantly doing like a slalom through downtown core.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely congested. I can definitely say for myself, one day I was driving after work and I was going right the downtown core, and this guy jumps right in front of my vehicle, and like I'm slamming on the brakes and the sun's in my eyes, and it could have been a lot worse than it was. I was totally fine, but
Yeah, I mean,
it's just there's so much going on, and you know what I mean.
well, it's very busy.
It's very busy.
Very busy.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. I mean, I don't know if necessarily turning it into a one-way would alleviate the problem.
Yeah.
You know, and then I've had some people mention, well, why not just have parking on one side of the street? Well, we could do that, but is that fair to the business owners or whomever is on the opposite side of the street where there's no parking?
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's just it's a subject that is going to be touchy for all parties involved.
Definitely.
And I'm not sure if there's actually going to be a happy medium that everyone can agree on and say, you know what,
Yeah.
let's just do this. So
Yeah.
I mean, for now, it is what it is, right?
I feel like it's a very almost content town, and I'm saying content because even though there's been a lot of issues, like, and it seems to be all the same issues, they haven't really been dealt with.
Hmm.
Almost like it's not a priority, you know, because other things come to you, they're like, well, we should probably deal with this now, opposed to later. But I don't know, I don't even know where I was going with that. But anyways, like, it's obvious this town, but it's content, that's what I was saying.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's content because there hasn't been a lot of changes.
No.
And obviously, I mean, but now this newer population of people are coming in.
Mhm.
Like there's a lot of younger families like myself, and there's a lot of like young people who want to sign up and make big changes
For
like,
sure.
within the council, you know what I mean? So it's a turning point. It's like a turning page in Pembroke.
Change is good, right?
Yeah.
Everything has to go through a constant change, and every so often, governments have to change. And,
Yes.
you know, is all change good? I mean, no. I mean, you've got your
Yeah.
changes is
Might not be taken lightly. in
yeah,
some
exactly.
cases. Yeah.
But I mean, some change is better than no change, right?
Yeah, definitely. And even if it's baby steps, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Are we getting any?
We're not getting any questions, and we want to invite the public, anyone that is tuning in on the Pembroke Elections 2018 Facebook group. Please drop some questions that we can ask Adam Gunter. So we're opening up to question period, but we're going to keep chatting with you. I wanted to touch base on the touchy subject of the marijuana dispensary again.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about that. What's your stance on that? We talked about it with Corey that one day last week, that the first interview with Corey, and just wanted to get some of your ideas on that. As far as you think, do you think it should be out of town, in town, not here at all? Would it be a good thing for our area? Some people are pushing for it.
Well, I mean, it's 2018, right? I think there's a big stigma over the marijuana production. The reality is, though, I mean, it's going to be legal in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, the federal government made that choice for us. It'll be mandated by the province, and then, you know, there'll be zoning within the city on where it can go and where it can't go. In regards to production, I'm all for anything that will create employment. as sad as it is, we were a lumber city, and it doesn't look like we're hustling and bustling with the lumber business anymore. So if something else can come in, and it happens to be a marijuana production facility, and it can create jobs to put money back in the economy, I mean, I'm all for it. Whether it needs to be in town or even, you know, we've got an industrial park that's got, you know, tons of space available. Even if it was up there, just something to produce jobs. You know, and that's a big thing for any municipality. You know, they need business, they need people employed to put money back into the economy, and that will create more of a revenue for the city to do what needs to be done.
Yeah, we definitely have the space for like a great big dispensary, you know, like even to create the product, but like, and I know that Laurentian Valley has already gotten a head start on that. So I wonder if it would kind of, you know, detour because of that. Well, it's like there's already a facility close by, you know what I mean? Like, why have one in Pembroke? And then maybe Pembroke would just end up getting what they refer to as the mom and pop shops, like the small business owners that bring it in, try to bring it in downtown, or
I mean, so the difference between a production facility and like a mom and pop shop or dispensary is leaps and bounds, right? Like the production facilities, I believe they're regulated by Health Canada.
it would take time to.
So it would take time to establish and get it set up, but that doesn't mean, you know, 5-10 years down the road that it wouldn't be a, you know, like another Tweed Farms. Look at Smiths Falls. They lost the Hershey factory, their economy went down the dumps. Tweed Farms came in, they built a facility in the old Hershey plant, and now they're booming. Booming. Dispensaries are mom and pop shops, you know. In that regards, if the province is allowing entrepreneurs to open shops like that, the province says so, they follow the right licensing, they're, you know, following the guidelines the AGCO sets out, no selling under 19, all that kind of stuff, and they're actually adhering by the rules. I mean, who are we to say no, you can't?
Yeah, and we really don't know what the result would be until we try, right? But I can't see it being bad though either.
No, I mean,
because I find that a lot of the projected traffic in the downtown core is people within our age and 40s and 50s, still like very mobile and, you know, the peak of their life kind of thing.
I mean, me personally, I don't see it any different than the way the LCBO or beer stores managed.
Yes, exactly.
Right. They've got a successful regulations they do to conduct business in that manner, and if they implement the same regulations, you know, geared towards the legalization of marijuana, then I don't see it being any different than having a liquor store or a beer store. Yeah, and I compare it like that too. Like, and it's just one of these things that's going to happen. And it was like when liquor became legal, you know, like a lot of people were opposed to it, but it kind of just became the way, and people just kind of and swallow it down if they don't like it, you know. I understand a lot of folks, the stigma against it is they just don't want people openly smoking it on the streets or getting it blown in their face. Yes, exactly. I did reading up on the province's plan for legalization of marijuana, and it will still be illegal to smoke it in open public spaces. It would be the same laws as alcohol. Yeah. So are we going to see people openly lighting up in the middle of the street? I mean, you might see it the odd time, but we're not going to see hordes and hordes of people just flaunting it. I think it's still going to be a little bit behind the scenes, except for the fact that you can go to wherever. People are going to be, it'd be just equivalent to like walking down the road with a beer in your hand, you know what I mean? So I would never expect it to ever get to that point. But.
We have some questions from our viewers.
Oh, yay.
Well, we have some comments. Well, we have Jan. Hey, Jan. Thanks for tuning in all the time, Jan. And
you're an awesome member.
She's a great audience.
Love the positivity, Jan.
Yes, exactly.
So she's like,
about that. You're wonderful.
She says alcohol is way worse and evil. Alcohol,
you know what?
Alcohol is worse.
I agree with you, Jan, because I'm an alcoholic. I've been sober for 8 years now.
Oh, wow, good for you.
We also have.
That's another good tidbit. It's nice to know these personal, you know, like it's just,
And then we have
it
other.
goes to show a lot about you too, you know,
Just-
personality wise.
We're losing comments here as they get generated, so I need to read them fast because I lost the question. But I know that what that question was, and this is worth asking. One, I forget your name. Sorry, we're gonna look that up. The question was, which was really good. Other candidates are really focused on the waterfront and using it and building it up. What are your thoughts on that, basically?
I love the waterfront. It is beautiful. Do we continue to build up on it? Of course, you know, as long as it's within the budget of the city. I honestly feel like that there's probably other areas that the city council needs to focus on to redevelop or get some attention to. But the waterfront being our, you know, one of our main tourist attractions, I'm all for investing whatever we can into it and keeping it beautiful so people continue to come and travel and see it. You know, once, you know, if we can attract some new businesses here, generate some more economy here, and we can do something big and fantastic with the waterfront, I'm all for it. But for right now, I mean, I love the waterfront. It's beautiful.
Yes, definitely it is.
It's being utilized very well as it is,
Absolutely.
as far as I know. I love going down there
Yeah.
and working out at the marina. It's my favorite spot. I know.
It'd be better if it was operational in winter, I think.
Yeah,
too.
we need it. Yeah, that's definitely something.
Yeah, we definitely need, there definitely needs to be something planned to keep it operational in the winter. I
Could
don't,
generate something,
Yeah.
you know?
it's definitely not utilized the way it should be in the winter. There's all kinds of stuff that could be done. You can do like snowshoeing or something down the path.
Yeah, that was talked about.
Even like cross country skiing across the path or something, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a beautiful area and it can be utilized in so many different ways.
Yeah, there was somebody who brought up this idea on the group about grooming one side for cross country skiing
Yeah.
and then plowing it on another. And I bet you a lot of people would volunteer in the
Oh, for
area,
sure.
like to keep it operational. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Yeah.
Let's get another question up here. We have some other great comments. Great, the waterfront is fabulous, Jan. Bravo, young man. Awesome authenticity and vulnerability. All right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thanks, Jan. And
Thanks, Jan.
we're losing. Okay, what do you guys think about fixing the old Lee Street Park, the dog park? Maybe it used to be called the dog park. Have a small park for years, ages 4 and younger. Have volunteers helping clean it up. So we're talking about a big operation there in a particular park, and that's the park by Lee Street. That's a good enough question, but
Yeah,
basically
so
it's surrounding our recreation.
that's actually, you know,
That's a good
the
question.
Lee Street Park has been closed off. Pardon me. And it is something that I've been advocating in my platform is why is this park fenced off? Why is it closed off? So I actually, you know, I did receive a response. There's some gazebos in there that are unsafe right now. So I appreciate the city staff for locking up, keeping the residents safe. So I was actually going to see if there was a way we could get it revitalized and all that. And then city council's actually already brought it up. So I'm very
That's
thankful
nice.
that they're already looking into it and
Yeah.
trying to see what they can do. And you know, if elected, I would love to see that fulfilled.
Awesome.
Because it is a great little spot. It's completely fenced in. You know, there's no large body of water for children to run into. It's fenced off so they don't have to run into a busy road. I mean, it's an ideal little spot.
So they're not using it right now?
Right now it's closed off because it's not safe because the gazebos have, one of them actually
Oh.
collapsed due to snow load. So right now they've got it locked up, which I'm glad, to keep
Yes.
people safe.
It would be nice to raise money, eh? Like get some kind of charity run going and raise some
Yeah.
money to rebuild and then
I mean, I'm not familiar if Fellows High School or any of the high schools in our area have a construction class, but I remember when I was in high school, we did in high school construction, we actually went and dismantled a cabin safely on someone's property, and then we actually built up a new cabin with our shop teacher, and all the permits were in place and whatever, and we did it as
That's awesome.
a school project. So it was a very awesome learning experience. It was hands-on. It was better than just sitting in the classroom working on stuff in there. So if we could reach out to, like, you know, high school groups
Yeah.
or something and get them
That sounds
involved,
cool.
as long as it's safe,
yeah.
you know, the cost to revitalize that park would be minimal.
Oh, for sure, especially if
Yeah.
you have high school students on board,
Right.
and like I bet you the teachers are hoping people come forward and be like, oh, you know, I'd love to put my kids in some kind of a project, you know what I mean? That would be perfect,
Well,
especially for a town councillor
Yeah.
to, you know.
Not only that, but I believe high school students need to get 40 hours community service.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's for a not-for-profit type of thing. So
Yeah.
if they were to donate, you know, if they were to volunteer on that, they might be able to get their hours for that, or they
That's
might
a really
get
cool idea.
some of their credit covered for doing something like
Yeah.
that. I mean, all in all, I think it's a great opportunity to get the community involved
For sure.
and get our youth who are in school involved in something that's not just sitting in a classroom.
Oh, for sure.
Some hands-on experience, and then, you know, down the road they could visit the park and say, you know, I helped build this, or even tell their kids one day, like,
Yeah.
I helped build this park so you
Yeah.
can enjoy it. I mean, I think it would be a
Yeah.
great thing, but, you know, of course we need to make sure that it's doable and that all the proper safety procedures
Yeah.
are in place, and that it's, you know, a
Not very
safe
big
but
much.
fun experience, right?
Yeah.
So.
That's
Amazing.
awesome.
Mhm.
And it's
We wanted to take a moment just to shout out to everyone that's been asking questions that we haven't gotten to. There's been a few that they're not really regenerating for me, and so there's more comments and questions coming in. But there were two other good questions, and I'd like you to repost your questions in the comments if you can, so we can see them in time. And other than that, let's keep the conversation going.
Oh yeah, I did have a question. We gotta rewind a little bit. It was about you felt as though there needed to be improvements in this town, like when we were talking about the waterfront.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I got into talking about that a little bit, like before the interview had actually started. But you had mentioned that the west side could use a little more attention. Do you want to go a little more into that?
Well, I mean, it's not so much just the West End. It's I feel like, you know, we've come such a long way with the downtown core. We've come such a long way with the waterfront. I feel like, you know, and it's not just me that feels this. I've heard it from others. You know, it's almost like the rest of the city's kind of been not neglected, but isn't getting as much attention as people would like to see.
Yes.
You know,
Like the mall?
yeah.
Yeah, like
You know,
the mall.
The mall. Well, there's
Yes.
a brand new gym that just moved into the mall.
Oh yeah, but this
And-
is the west side mall.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, you're talking about.
Oh yeah, and that one's like just the brick and
I think there's only a
Park.
handful of stores in there now. But I mean, yeah.
East Side Mall, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. I
the
think-
west side.
No, the West End
yeah,
Plaza.
down by Valley Village.
Yes, okay. That's the
Yeah.
one that's
Yeah.
suffering more.
But it's not even just the mall. I mean, there's parks and stuff in those little communities
Yeah.
that could use a facelift. There's some streets out there that don't even have stop signs. You know, and it's not safe for our children.
Yeah.
You know, so I just feel like we need to pay a bit more attention to the city as a whole and not just specific areas.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I understand we want to attract tourism and all that stuff, but it would be nice to show them an entire city as a
Yeah.
whole is getting attention, not just specific areas.
Like make the residents a priority
For sure.
instead of just guests.
Absolutely.
You know, visitors coming
Mhm.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the local population would really appreciate that too, because there's a lot of areas in this town that need a facelift.
Yep.
Especially the roads.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of potential. Like I find with the riverfront, like
Mhm.
it's such an asset, and it makes this
Oh, yeah.
place so beautiful.
Yeah.
And there's certain spots where they could really accentuate on that. I feel, you know, make it like a spot that people can go to and sit down with their families, and
Yeah.
you know, it'd be nice to see more of that.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Pembroke it's a diamond in the rough. It has
It
so
is,
much
yes.
potential, and I would love to see, you know, be able to contribute to growing that potential
Yes, for
and
sure.
make it, you know, a city that 15, 20 years from now, you know, my kids will be having kids of their own and still
And
want to stay here.
yes,
you know?
exactly.
So
Yeah.
I want them to feel the same that I do, that I still feel when I first arrived here and never went back to where I grew up.
You obviously felt opportunity
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Like what field did you start work in when you moved here?
When I moved here, I actually was unemployed when I moved here.
Oh yeah.
I've always been in the restaurant business. I went to culinary school, and I got my papers and all that stuff. So I just kind of stayed in that field. I've actually been with Eastside Mario's for 15 years.
Oh wow, good for you.
I started in Burlington and then when I moved up here, I needed a job so bad that, you know, I basically walked in and I had the job.
Really, eh?
And, you know, I stuck with it. I really enjoyed my job. I get to meet lots of interesting people every day. I get to have conversations.
Really good food.
And, you know,
Yeah.
so it's great. I'm probably going to stick with that for the rest of my life.
Hey, it's awesome to be passionate about
Yeah.
something and showing that you actually stick to it. It
For
shows
sure.
a lot of
Yeah.
character in you too.
Yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. I mean,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you transfer from another East Side Mario's?
no.
No, you came from a different restaurant.
No, I finished working at an East Side Mario's in Burlington, and then I took some time off to clear my head because I was recovering from an alcohol dependency,
Okay.
and so I took some time off to clear my thoughts in my head, and then I felt I was ready to re-enter the workforce. So that's when I went to East Sides in Pembroke here, and you know, I got a job, and here I am.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
So like Pembroke's been such a growing chapter for you,
Absolutely.
right? Like
Absolutely.
character building and getting your life established.
It's kind of the promised land. It's really like your oasis, and it's the place you've landed and rooted, and it seems to be where you are growing stronger, you know.
That's right.
Because of that, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I can relate to that. Pembroke's been a great healing spot for myself as well. Growing in the arts. What do you think, just on a personal, what I care about? Because we're not getting too many questions from our viewers.
They must be enjoying the show that much.
A lot of positivity.
Doing that good.
We have Christina. I'm sure many people in the community would volunteer, give the opportunity to what you guys were saying earlier.
Absolutely.
So.
I think so too.
But I want to ask about the arts programs that we're trying to raise up at Church Street Media House here, and basically trying to shed a light on raising up the culture. We're trying to partner with other organizations like Festival Hall, like the Grind Pembroke, and really trying to raise up more volunteerism, but also raise it up in areas that improve the spirits, like in arts and culture. So, I mean, do you see the culture? I mean, you love Pembroke just like I do, but you see the cultural, social struggles, right?
Oh, for
You
sure.
want to touch on that a little bit? Like, do you think basically, what's your angle on helping fix that? And
I think our arts, culture departments, they need help. I mean, I know Festival Hall they are up and running again, great.
lots of events at Festival Hall. One this Saturday.
Yeah, they weren't. It wasn't as going as it is now. A few years ago,
Yeah.
I noticed since Rick Orton has taken the helm on that, he's really turned it around, and I would love to continue to see
Good.
shows going to Festival Hall.
Hear that, Rick?
And,
Good.
and
Good
you know, I support all that 100%. I mean, arts is awesome. We all need to unwind. We need to get more people encouraged to take up that kind of stuff as a passion and a hobby.
Yes.
And,
Positive fellowship, getting people together.
Yeah.
You don't have to be talented. You just have to be willing to be passionate. And
Yeah,
creative.
and as far as me being an artsy guy, I mean, I could be. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
But I would definitely encourage anybody to do what makes them feel right, and if there's anything I can do to help in that aspect, I absolutely would.
Cool. Good
Yeah.
answer. Good
There's
answer.
definitely a lot of diversity in this town now, like especially now that like there's all sorts of different cultures, you know, coming to our college, and I've noticed a lot of different, like, and young people too, and like if they happen to find a job here that they love, like you, or you know, maybe they'll decide to stay here too. Like it's just nice to have that diversity too, and because a lot of them are very artsy, I find too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah.
Arts and technology, I'm finding, and nursing
Yes.
programs and healthcare are out of Algonquin College here, and
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. Those are all things we need in the city.
Yes.
Not just the city, but the surrounding area. You know, when I look at, basically, I'm looking at myself entering candidacy for council as me kind of repaying the city for how awesome it's been to me,
That's
and
nice.
see if there's something I can do for the city. But I also would like to see the city rebuild its relationships with surrounding municipalities.
Yes.
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 That's a good one.
Collaborations.
Absolutely.
Right on.
So that there isn't squabbles about who's paying to fix this, who's paying to fix that. Like, let's be a team. You know, communities that work together grow together.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm a huge advocate for being a team player.
And it is a reality. A lot of people don't think it is, you know, everybody's like, oh, you know, and, you know, they say that we're landlocked and all this, but I really do feel like municipalities could come together and create something really wonderful, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but we were talking about that in Pembroke elections, and it just doesn't, a lot of people don't really see that being a reality around here. So it's nice, it's like,
Maybe it's because I wasn't born and raised here. Maybe I have a different
Yeah.
perspective than.
it's nice that
Sure
you
that
have that.
have more hope.
Yeah.
You know, I just, that's just how I feel. I'm very passionate about this, and
That's
I really
wonderful.
do believe that there is huge potential in this city.
Wonderful.
You know, even if I don't get elected per se, if somebody on council will share the same ideals and values that I do and will listen to the residents, I'm happy. You know, then I've done my part.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to try and stay involved as best as I can, but for me, it's not about me. It's about what I can do for the residents of the city.
Yes.
And you know, the residents ultimately they make a decision. If I don't get voted in, that's no big deal. You know, I'm humble about it, and then the next step is find an empty seat on a committee or something that I can contribute my time to help this city grow in some sort of way.
You are the kind of person that people need to vote for, because, and I'll tell you why, because I'm picking up on a lot of different energies and stuff. I know that might sound bogus to some people, but like, you seem very invested and very like passionate about this place. I can really feel it off you. It's something that definitely resonates with you, you know, like I can definitely feel that in you. And
Thanks.
it's like, that's like the be all end all. That's the biggest key to all this, is having that drive behind you to want to make that change, you know?
Yeah,
And it's for all the right reasons, so
and I mean,
that's wonderful.
it takes time for change to take effect, right?
Yes.
You know, it's all about laying the groundwork and the foundation. And if something, you know, gets accomplished after, you know, say I get elected and we put motions forward and stuff starts happening, but it doesn't get completed until after my term is over, and, you know, someone else gets to take credit for it, that's awesome. You know what?
As long as
I'm not looking for credit, I'm just looking for stuff to be done.
Yeah.
That the residents are looking for, so something that we can all enjoy as a community,
Make that
and we
positive
can all be
change.
proud of where we live.
Yes.
And, you know, when we talk to travelers or even a family that live outside, be like, hey, why don't you move to Pembroke? Like, seriously,
Yeah.
it is so awesome here.
Yeah.
And, you know, I want my kids to stay here, and that's what it's all about. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I feel like one of the biggest things to get to that point is bringing in more opportunity
For sure.
into this town. I think you're right on the right track there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
On a lighter note, and speaking of more opportunity, just theoretical, a new business is going to move into town, someone's ready, and as a local consumer, not necessarily as a councillor, which obviously Candace hopes you'll be in, and I have the same vibes. I think you're very passionate, and I'm very grateful that you're going back for the city. But just on a casual level, what business would you want to move in? What are we lacking that we could have downtown?
That's a good
or
question.
uptown?
That is a really good question.
I know
Restaurant?
you're not going to say Olive Garden. Because it's probably good competition.
That would be great though.
No, we don't need an Olive Garden. We have.
Yes, I love Olive Garden.
Okay.
Remember that.
Take it over.
I think we need something more geared towards children.
Yes.
Clothing
Really?
stores.
Like a clothing store
downtown.
for children, something downtown. I mean, I
Yes.
don't get an opportunity to shop as much as I would like to, or as much as my wife would appreciate me to. But from what I'm hearing is there isn't much of a selection for children.
That's true.
That people they go to Laurentian Valley Walmart to get most stuff, or, you know, I mean, we have Giant Tiger, but I think people want more of a variety.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna say restaurant because I think Pembroke has a lot of those.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
I think kudos to the person that put that board, like that skateboard park in, or
absolutely.
that bike park.
Yes.
I'd like to know who was behind that, because that's a really, really good idea. Like, we need more places.
I remember where I grew up when I was a kid. I was a skateboarder. I like to hurt myself. I don't know why, but we didn't have a skate park, and that's all we wanted was a skate park so we can ride our skateboards without being, you know, shooed off by security or something from some parking lot and whatever. And we didn't get it until I was well too old to even bother.
Oh, that's too bad.
I'm very happy that, you know, the children here, the teenagers, even some adults that like skateboarding or even biking or rollerblading, they have the opportunity to have a skate park built. You know, God bless whoever put that in, and invested their money to see people happy. Yeah. You know, that's fantastic. And
I know what happened with this skate park. It was put in by the owner of Wallride Skate Shop. Like, he was the main mover and shaker for that, and I believe he potentially attracted sponsors or teamed up with the city or designed, you know, and he runs the Wallride Skate Shop there. So yeah, he's not the biggest publicity guy. He doesn't like to be on camera, I know for a fact.
Well, and you know what?
Definitely community oriented.
That's another thing that makes it even that more awesome, is that the person wasn't looking for gratitude or satisfaction by getting media, you know, getting publicized and praise from
I just don't understand that philosophy.
They just they wanted to do something for the community. They did it, and that was enough for them to say, you know what, I feel amazing, and you know what, that's fantastic.
Well, you can tell he's very he cares about the kids. He just like you said, he as well as ourselves, we care about our youth having something to do. That's one of our comments here. Jan says no olive oil, no Olive Garden, independent shops in the core. Independent shops.
Yeah, I know, but we can still have an Olive Garden like outside the city.
Anyway,
not in Laurentian Valley, but
Kayla says an indoor kids zone, something like that downtown would be amazing. There's a
that would be cool.
I gotta shout out to Sleepwell Property Management, the Muse Mall there. They have, I believe, a huge space. I think it's still up for rent unless someone's taken it over, and that's where they used to have that big kids zone place, didn't they? But either way, it's beautiful right now.
I know what you're talking about.
I know they have a great deal on rent. Like, it's a big space, and they have a great deal on it considering the size. And somebody should move in there and put in. Well, we have Kayla or Christina, I believe, said an arcade, like an arcade slash kids zone. Belleville,
that would be cool.
Belleville has Rhino Sports and Playland. Ottawa has a playland, a trampoline space or something like that. Would be so great for downtown. We need to be vibrant, and it'd be great to have not just for the little kids, but something like an arcade for the, I don't know what you call
adults
it.
too.
You ever heard of Dave and Buster's?
I've heard of it. What is it?
Okay, you ever heard of Chuck E. Cheese's?
Yes.
Okay, so Dave and Buster's is an adult version of Chuck E. Cheese's.
Wow.
Seriously?
Yes.
What's the activities?
Trampolines, I bet.
Skee-ball, arcade games, pool, any table hockey, roller skating, all that kind of stuff. Dave and Buster's, yeah.
Nice.
That would project a lot.
That would be awesome, but I would like to see something that all ages could utilize.
Yes.
But
that's true.
adults seem to have fun too, right?
We put a Chuck E. Cheese right beside it.
Like, so all those things, and that space, like, we need to fill up the downtown. There's a few other spots that are vacant and available, and I think most of the spots, if not all, are being worked on or have already been renovated by our local landowners. You know, not just Conrad Poole, who invested over $6 million, but there's a bunch of other ones that are investing and building downtown so beautiful. So we need to raise up the culture and have more positive things to do.
Yeah.
There's so many health facilities and fitness facilities, but we need we need to kick it and lay back, get your energy out there. And downtown still, I know we talk about, let's not focus too much on downtown because the malls matter and the other parks matter. But
exactly.
the downtown needs to continue to grow in the direction it's going.
You're right. Yep.
And we all need to follow suit. We need.
I think it'll get there.
It's beautiful.
I feel it's
the beautification that's gone on downtown in the last 4 or 5 years is unreal.
The storefronts are pretty.
Oh yeah.
Definitely, it
trees
really,
and flowers as well.
It's still a work in progress, but I mean, we can do that as well as pay attention to the rest of the city as a whole.
Yes, right? I really like how they did that. I think it's in February. They closed down the road, the main road, and they have the hockey tournament and stuff. I think that was a really nice touch. It brings activity and recognition to downtown core, when it's at its quietest in the winter time.
Especially considering we're Hockey Town, Ontario, right?
Yeah, I know. It kind of feels like we've been getting away from that a little bit. Kind of like the whole Fiddle Park thing, now that everybody's getting older, there's less and less people coming to the Fiddle Park now.
Well, I noticed there's a gap in the generations there.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
I'm a little worried that, you know, in 5 years, is Fiddle Park going to be as big as it once was? Because I'll admit, in the 8 years I've been here, it's kind of started to dwindle down.
Yeah.
But in the next 5 to 10 years, are we going to see it surge back up again?
I really like Corey Nagora's idea on the Plaid Games. Or I think he's renamed it, but I like the concept that it still has that authenticity of being an event here in town, but then it kind of like revitalizes the event, you know?
You know
it
what?
brings in more culture and like...
You're absolutely right. And shout out to Corey Nagora for that idea, because that
Yeah,
is a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Good shout out. Good shout out.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a really healthy interview. This has been amazing.
I know we could go on forever on.
Actually, I think we have to cut it short pretty soon. I think we might be. We've been going on for 39 minutes, which is great because it's been a great conversation. But we kind of promised in between 15 and 30. No harm done. Let's cool it off a little bit. I've said it's been a very healthy interview, but we since you're here and we're chilling, can we invite you to have some cookies with us? We had
Rita.
Speaking of volunteers, Rita,
Yes.
thank you so much. Bring up
Are you
fans.
gonna go get them?
I'll
Okay.
get them. You sit here. So.
Okay. Yeah, Rita made us these beautiful cookies.
I saw that.
You gotta tilt it so that they see the color. That's okay. Once you take the lid off, it's just like, wah.
Oh, they're all. Look at those.
Okay, yeah, look at the lack of them though, okay? Rita, you know how many you made, okay? I came here.
She left them in the studio
these.
all day. I work here.
So he like ate almost all the cookies.
So I believe that might be peanut butter. Or maple.
Look at you, you're drooling over this.
I know, I'm
I
trying.
actually
Just
had
eat
it.
it. No,
I had
you
enough.
go ahead. I had one. I'm pregnant. What do you think?
Are you seriously not going to eat one on live video?
I can't. I can't. That's
They're really good.
so...
I like how they fit in your mouth in one bite. I think that's why I was eating too many, Rita. So maybe make them larger next time. No, I'm just kidding. So they're really decadent, everyone. They're very much like fancy and special, and
they're beautiful.
so many different flavors. Is that the orange?
And they're all natural. They're all natural
Really?
ingredients. Yes.
They're so good.
They're all
And
natural.
They are rich, but they're light. So thank you so much for
Delicious.
that donation. That
And
was great.
she's very conscientious of allergies. So if you ever got her to bake you any cookies, she'd be sure to like tell you the ingredients and stuff because she's very conscientious of that. Good for you, Rita. I told you I'd put a shout out to you.
We'll save the rest for
I'll
our
just keep
next
my promises.
interviewee.
No.
Oh wait, did you have another one?
Oh, okay.
They're pretty sweet. I know, I should know. They're pretty sweet. Well, we want to thank you for hanging out with us in the studio. This has been Rubber Chicken Circuit. There's no last questions, right? We're good to close?
Yeah, I'm supposed to say, stay positive, people.
And God bless. All right, I'm going to shut her down.
By the way, Tim, hey, wait. Tim, he had more than one cookie.